Hi everyone, I'm Bianca Valerio and welcome to another episode on Come Away With Me with Bianca Valerio. Now, I'm kind of getting used to sharing all these motivational posts because I have to admit I am so touched by all the positive feedback you guys have been sharing with me, especially the private messages. Thank you so much. I do read every single one of them. And I even have a little album in my phone just to screen cap all the positive words that you guys have been sharing because they do encourage me to find more topics in order to talk about with you. So if you guys have any topics that you want me to discuss, please comment down below, send me a message somehow, some way, and I will try my best to get those answers to you. But today, the topic that we're going to be discussing is, so first, whenever we try to convey a message and we feel misunderstood, doesn't it frustrate us? Doesn't it make us feel rejected? It makes us feel like we're not wanted. And feeling misunderstood is probably the most hurtful things because in life, it's all about communication. We communicate love, we communicate care, we communicate hate. Everything is based on communication. So if a person doesn't understand what you're trying to say, it only makes it so useless and pointless and hurtful. So I'm going to be sharing today the 5 ways how you can make people understand you better. Okay, are you ready? So, number 1, volume. It doesn't matter what the content is, but if your tone is not right, no one's gonna hear you. Well, of course, if you say it too softly, which is why in movies, they have to dub the sound because even if you can hear them talk, you can see them talk, but if you can't understand what they're saying within terms of the volume, then you don't want to watch the movie anymore. It's the same way when people are communicating with you. When they can't hear you, they won't even bother. Now, when you're shouting, that's a whole different thing. Even if you're making sense, even if you're right, even if the person knows you're right, they're not going to listen to you if you come with an aggressive manner and a defensive manner, an angry manner, or even when you get so excited. This is Mo Twister's complaint with me. Sometimes when I'm so excited, it's true. When I get so excited, my voice raises and it gets too fast and so on, like happening now, that you can't understand me. So I need to calm the fuck down and say my piece. Like right now, I can say, fuck you. You can go to hell. And I really don't care about you. And I hope that you die right now upon watching this. Amen. See? It sounds so sweet, doesn't it? But I'm really telling you to die. But what if I say, I love you nga eh. Why can't you just hear me? Do you know that I'm right? Do you know that I do everything for you? I wash the dishes. I do all these things for you and you never listen to me. But you can say, you know, I do all these things for you and I've dedicated all this time to make you happy. And I feel like you're just not listening to me. See the difference? It's not being manipulative. You're actually... To be in control of your voice is a very hard thing to do because when you have emotions involved, you run with your emotions. And to keep them in check, you're controlling those emotions. You're still expressing them, but in a more disciplined manner. So remember, it doesn't matter what you say, but how you say it. The volume is always key in getting a message conveyed. That's number 1. Moving on to number 2, words. Obviously, content is king. That's what the whole internet is about, right? Now, I actually shared the 5 languages of love a few weeks back. If you scroll on down, you're going to get to learn how there's a difference between receiving love or experiencing love and conveying love. It doesn't mean if you want it one way, that it's the same way that you want to receive it. So learn about that and then come on back to me. So number 2, words. There are so many ways that we can convey an emotion, whether it be a positive one or a negative one. In fact, I want to say I miss you. I'd rather say, I was texting you all day today. Did you not get it? Or I can say I love you. Could be, did you need help with your homework today? I know that math is really hard. You know, there's so many ways, subtle ways, or very explicit ways to express a certain emotion, but unless the person actually gets what you're trying to say, then there has to be a little explanation that goes with that, right? It's all about choosing the right words. And of course, courage comes along with it. So content is king. Number 3, timing. I think timing is one of those things where no matter how amazing it is what you're saying, no matter what the content is, if you don't do it at the right time, it can get misunderstood, or it can be totally forgotten. Or let's say, like certain blog posts that I'm doing, Game of Thrones. What if I had done it 10 years later? It won't be relevant anymore. I wanted to make sure that when I post something, it's right in timing of when it's such a big hit, or when the season premiere was. It's all about timing. Or when it's bad timing, when my brother passed away. So there are 3 people who sent me 1 flowers, 1 card, 1 cake. One person had the nerve to ask me the next day, "Hey, did you receive the flowers? Because I didn't see that you posted anything on Facebook or on social media." Fuck you. Then the cake, which actually said, anyway, it doesn't matter. And the cake that I got, and they actually said, "Please don't forget to add the hashtag so and so and so." It's like, if you had maybe asked me this a year later, I would probably even dedicate 1 episode to you just to thank you, all the thoughtful people who thought about me during those trying times. But instead, what was supposed to be an intention of being thoughtful, I look at it with so much anger, so much insensitivity, that in fact I will never look at you, yes, I'm talking to you, the same way again. Such selfishness. So again, no matter what the message is, if the timing is not right, the tone is not right, and the use of words are not right, all of that will lead to feeling misunderstood. Now we move on to number 4, which is, it's not always about you. There are 2 words in the dictionary that we love to use all the time. First is me, and the second is I. Well, guess what? There's a world beyond you, and it's not always about you. So it's not always about how you feel. It's not always about your opinion. It's not always you feeling that you are right. When in fact, there are, how many people are there now? 7 billion people in the world who have other strong opinions just as you do. So if you learn to take away the I and the me and look at it as a universal thing, you will not only get to understand people more, but other people will get to understand you more. Remember, this is where you are, and this is where they are. If this is I, and me, so is they. For them, it's also I, and me. But what if we go to a we? What if we go to a middle ground? What if we make a truce? And in that way, you can agree to disagree, or you can find a resolution, you can find a compromise, and look, you understand each other. Does that make sense? It's all about finding that middle ground, that compromise. And because it's not me, or I, you are agreeing to yourself, not necessarily with them, that it's okay that you don't agree with them. As long as you're able to get your point across, your message across. And isn't that what we want? That we felt heard, that we felt validated. Which leads me to number 5, validate. Validate is probably like a magic word. It is one of the best ways in order for a person to understand you and for you to feel understood. Now, I learned this word, or this very powerful term, from the book Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I'm going to cite 2 examples so you guys can understand. One is more for romantic relationships and the other is one for the office, okay? Non-romantic. So first, you had a busy day, romantic. You had a busy day, your boss was a bitch. You come home to your partner, or you meet up at dinner, and you say, "Oh my God, my boss is such a bitch. I wanna quit my job." Your partner usually is a guy, and this is usually for heterosexual relationships, because I'm just talking about the dynamic between a guy and a girl, how a guy and a girl thinks and how they react. Now with a girl, she's venting, and the guy, because they're born protectors, they're providers, they're solution providers, they will come up with solution by saying, "Then why don't you quit? I'll help you draft the papers. What did you tell her? What did she do to you? How can I help?" So they always are trying to troubleshoot the problem. Now for you, you just actually want to vent. And instead, because they're asking so many questions, they're bombarding you with all these blah, 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 blah. You get irritated and you get overwhelmed and you get frustrated and you end up shouting at him, and in the end you end up sounding so ungrateful because all he was doing is trying to show that he cares in the language that he could, because that's how he understood your problem. Okay, you have to understand it from their perspective. Now, for you guys, this is how you validate someone. If your partner just says, oh my God, I'm feeling so depressed, I feel like I just want to end my life. Of course you'll want to say, oh my God, do we need to see a counselor? What can I do? Why are you so depressed? Is it me? What happened? So for you guys, once you hear your partner venting to you, you don't need to provide a solution, because actually they already know the solution. They're just venting. That's why it's venting. They're ranting to you. They're just letting off some steam. And all you gotta do is validate by saying the words, I know how you feel. Oh man, that sucks. Oh really? Man, I wouldn't want to be in your shoes. You don't even have to mean it if you don't want to, but just those words, because they're not looking for a solution. They're just looking for someone to validate their feelings, that their feelings are valid. That's why sometimes when we share on Instagram and we say, oh my God, I'm feeling so bad. Like when I told people, when I shared on Instagram that my brother passed away and I'm so sad. I don't need you to tell me how to feel by saying you need to be strong for your parents. You need to suck it up. I don't need you to tell me that because I already fucking know what to do. So shut the fuck up. What do I need? You to just tell me, I know how you feel. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm offering you prayers. Period. It's not rocket science. It's very plain and simple. Sharing empathy, sharing sympathy, that is validation. Now let's move on to the other example. Let's say you're at work. Now let's say your colleague is slacking and she basically sucks and you really want to tell her off, but you shouldn't and you can't, but you want to, so you won't. So you always start with a validation, which is you start first with something positive before you move on to something negative. So you could say, and this is how you shouldn't say it. Oh my God, so yeah, I've just noticed you've been slacking with work, and like, I get it, like you have problems. Okay, we all have problems, and I get it, your mom died, but you know what? My whole family's dead. So you just gotta suck it up. And it's a teamwork, and if I lose this job, it's your fault. You could say that is tough love, but that's not the way to do it. This is a better way. This is a better approach. Start with positive. So hey, I noticed that you've been, like, I know that you're hustling. I know you're a breadwinner. I know your mom just passed away, and like, I see you're coming to work early and even leaving late. And I see you're working really hard. And I just want you to know that I do notice that. Here comes the negative. But I have to say, man, that effort, I don't know what your head's at, because I feel like you're just not really with a team right now. Is there something wrong? Because, hey, what affects you affects us, right? I'm not trying to be selfish here, but if there's something wrong, if we can all help you out so that we can get this project going, let us know. Okay, because what affects you affects us. So that's a kinder way to do it, right? As much as you're offering the truth, but you're also encouraging. Now, I know that some people were born for tough love. I get it. That's a great thing, but not everybody is. Not everybody is built the same way. And remember, love is always the answer. As cheesy as it is, always come from love, with love, and only love. So validation is a form of love, of encouragement, of support, of a positive message. So those are the 5 ways on how I think people are going to understand you better. A recap: volume, words, timing. It's not always about you, and validation. So that wraps up my motivational post for this episode, and I hope you guys can send me all your comments so that I can talk about topics that you would want me to. and I will make sure to validate you first before giving you the hard truth. So make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and there's my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram. And for all the written posts with my photo diaries, that's on BiancaValerio.com, and the link is in the description box right down below. I hope to see you guys in the next episode. Until then, come away with me. I'm Bianca Valerio. Bye guys!